Never a borrower nor a lender be, and don't forget, stay out of debt. Listen and take this good advice from me. Protect your solvency. And there's just one more thing you need to do. Buy gold and silver too.
You go, a plan for establishing a United States sovereign wealth fund. And what is a sovereign wealth fund? That are government-owned investment vehicles managing financial assets. So those are really large. But the point is that I want you to understand is we don't have any excess savings. So honestly, the only reason why I care about the spot market is because that's what you look at and you think that, oh, well, that must be true. But this is a tool of manipulation. It is not a tool of true price discovery. So while this is because physical demand, this is really what's going to break the back of these intangible markets. And so when you see the Bank for International Settlement saying gold is the only financial asset that runs no counterparty risk, all of these contracts that we put out, all these derivatives, they're running a whole lot of risk. And there's more. The things that are happening with Elon Musk, et cetera, are constitutional. Well, the Constitution, quite frankly, has been dismantled. If that is indeed the case, it didn't just start now, right? They've been dismantling the Constitution that put the individual at the top. And then the state governments were supposed to support the individual's rights. And then the federal government was supposed to support the states that are supposed to support the individual rights. That's been turned on its head, right? That's been turned on its head. So I don't think it's a bad thing for the real Constitution to be coming up and for us all to get familiar with what our rights really are, because we've lost a lot of them. And I say it's time to take it back. And I say that doing a global sound money movement is the way to do it, because we vote with our wallets, we vote with our purses, and there are so many different ways for every individual at any income level to accumulate gold as the primary currency, metal, and silver as the secondary. You know, you see me wear jewelry all the time. It's because, and you certainly have seen my chopsticks and you know, all my flatware and stuff like that. And that's because gold and silver at its base in any form is monetary.
Buy gold and silver too.
A blueprint for bending the media that has Nixon all over it. If you're my age, then you remember what was going on with President Nixon and Watergate and the big scandal, and also the fact that he was the one that officially took us off the gold standard and handed over control to the central banks. And their job is to regulate. It's not to fight inflation, for goodness sakes. That's just stupid, and it's not true, because inflation is baked into the currency. Their job is to regulate the rate and speed of it so that you don't make any different choices. You accept lower wages and you accept higher costs, because if they can do it slowly enough, that 2% target, that is how they define price stability, which is ridiculous. But we do know that perception management is an official policy of our government. We know that. And so I think it's interesting that they're talking about going back all the way back to Nixon, when this most current iteration that died in 2008 is really dying now, is going away. I think it's interesting that they referred back to it, because that was the beginning of the end, and we are at the end of the end.
Never a borrower nor a lender be, and don't forget, stay out of debt. Listen and take this good advice from me. Protect your solvency. And there's just one more thing you need to do. Buy gold and silver too.
Talk about the failure of the dollar. I'm Lynette Zang, Chief Market Trading, a student, a banker, and a stockbroker. After all, the dollar's been around since you were born. The fact that according to the Federal Reserve, there is only 3 cents of purchasing power left in the U.S. dollar. The FDIC only has a little more than 1 penny in reserve for every insured dollar in the FDIC insured banks. The money of the U.S. began to transition in 1913. Governments and corporations had 2 key goals. Number 1, governments wanted to be able to tax the public invisibly and without legislation. And number 2, corporations wanted to pay employees less, but they had to do it invisibly. Building inflation into the currency accomplishes both those goals. 1/20th of an ounce of gold coin, which is about half the size of my pinky fingernail, or this 1 ounce silver, or a dollar bill. All of them at that time would buy 11 loaves of bread. Either be a dollar, maybe it buys a quarter of a loaf. The silver dollar still buys you 11 loaves of bread. The $1 gold coin buys you, the last time I checked, about 135 loaves of bread.
This is your fairy gold mother, and I want to show you the difference between real money and fake money. Let's start with a dollar bill. This was created to mimic this. Can you see how tiny it is? But today, you can buy 3 cents. Well, guess how much this is? If you want to buy it today, it's $460. This is fake money that was created to mimic this. This is a $5 gold coin. And guess what? If you wanted to buy that today, it's $719. This is a $10 bill. It's actually legal tender. In other words, you can take this to the store and use it. It was created to mimic this. And today's retail price is $1,369. And how about this one? You can take this to the store. I'm not sure you can buy that much with it. And you certainly can't buy this $20 gold piece. If you were buying this one today, it'd be $2,694. This holds your purchasing power. This destroys your purchasing power. This is in your control. This is in their control. Which would you rather have?